Hi everybody, welcome to a short lecture about Heart 9. Heart 9, Shao Chong, lesser rushing. It's a very special point and it's part of the Jingwell point. It's a point that lies exactly on the end of the heart channel. And just imagine, this is where the heart channel is receiving the energy from the small intestine channel if we look at the energy movement. It's a very dynamic point of yin and yang of the heart. And as we will see, it has a lot of magical influences on the heart and on the movement of qi of the heart in the body. Overall, when we're talking about Chinese medicine, we are talking about unfolding some mystery. And it seems that people ages ago had known the position of man, had known the position of man between heaven and earth, and the movement of qi in the universe and the movement of qi in man. And this is the macro before we are entering the micro. Because when we enter Heart 9, when we want to understand this point, we have to have also this large picture of heaven and earth interacting through man. And this is the point that affects very strongly the heart itself. When we look at man, we always look at the movement of yin and yang in man. This is a very subtle movement, but a constant one. And consciousness, as we will see, which is very important for this point, talks exactly about this movement of being aware of heaven and being aware of earth and being aware of being in between them. If we look from a Chinese point of view, it's always the anatomical position is with the hands up. So it means that the heaven energy comes through the edges of the body and goes down, and the earth energy comes from below, and the yin energy comes from below and go up. This is the anatomical Chinese medicine. The anatomical position of Western medicine is the opposite, is with the hands down. So when we'll talk about Jingwell point especially, we have to understand about this movement of yang into yin and yin into yang. Shao Chong, Heart 9, lesser rushing, as we say, it's also a wood point, and we would like to show you a beautiful picture drawn by an artist, which was very much kind of inspired by a friend of mine, Bartosz Kalminicki from Poland, and he and together they drew beautiful pictures of the points. So the point Heart 9 has this beautiful picture, and if we look of what we are seeing in this picture is things related to the point. We see a wood, and it means that the Heart 9 is a wood point, and a wood point also means that this point affects, it's wood in nature, but it's also a tonifying point, as we will see later, because wood is the mother of fire. And then we see that there is a well there, because it's a Jingwell point, so it has the effect of the well. There is a fire, a small bonfire, which has been quelled down, which is not, it's been extinguished, symbolizing the effect of this point on reducing heat, and especially heat from the heart, like in delirium areas, and heat from the heart, like affecting the tongue and other areas. It shows a monk kind of moving back and forth, which means that there is some kind of inner flow of this point. There is a very strong flow, and this kind of gives us a kind of nice introduction into this point. One of the most kind of inspiring and interesting experience I had with this point is when I treated a woman in the hospital. It was an unusual case. She was 3 months in a coma. She actually went into coma when she was giving birth to her daughter. And nobody believed she would actually come out from the coma, except for her husband, who sat next to her bed night by night for this 3 months. And after 3 months, she came out of the coma. And obviously, she was very confused. And then I was asked to come and see her. And it was quite amazing, because her main complaint when I talked to her was her little finger. She had her little finger crooked, and all she could complain, she said, "This little finger is very painful for me." And if we think about it, this is where the heart meridian passes. from Chinese point of view, everything to do with consciousness, with knowing who you are, with being connected to your Shen, relates to the heart. So actually this kind of lack of flow of energy in her heart referred very much to this main complaint that she had. The only point I did in the first time when I saw her was just needling this point, heart 9. And the results were quite remarkable. Even after a day, her husband called me and said, you know, after this treatment, she was much clearer. She could remember more, her speech became clearer, and it was quite a dramatic effect. And I would like to finish up with a kind of deep words from Psalm 25. Man lives on earth, his destiny hangs in heaven. And when we talk about heart, we're really talking about this connection of man to heaven, man to Shen. And this is one of the points that can be very dramatic in many clinical cases. So thank you very much from Shen to Shen, and hope to see you in future webinars or lectures. All the best.